postgraduate student majoring defense management. It's so interesting. My first question goes to Professor Zhu. Regarding your statement in your paper, you say that there is a dislocation or even an absence of dominance in the process of East Asia cooperation, and there is a tendency of competition of dominance, and the intervention of US is something unavoidable. My question is related to the increasing of China defense budget. As we can see that there is a tendency of contestation between US power in East Asia and also China. US right now established their military base in Darwin, and also China already established their blue water strategy. So how do you see in the future the balance of power in East Asia region, and how actually it affects the interaction between those countries in that region? My second question goes to Professor KG. Regarding your statement about Asian Currency Union, it's so interesting because European Union has declined and also US has deficit in their economy. So that's why the question goes to who will continue the economic power. So it can be, the answer could be East Asia, but about the system of adjustment to achieve the equitability between those countries. Do you think that it is important for those countries to have a good democratic system to achieve a good cooperation in economy? Do you think that it is a key factor, as European Union always claimed that democratic system is very important? And I see the rivalry between Japan and China is just same with what happened in European Union integration, the rivalry between Germany and France. Do you see that in the future, Japan and China can have the same agreement and they agree to bring East Asia to more further improve their economic cooperations? And also, my question would be about, U.S. intervention, the leading of dollars of U.S. intervention. Do you think that it is possible that ACU will be established and become a leading economic power in East Asia? Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Stevie. I'm a junior lecturer at the International Relations Department in the Bina Nusantara University. I would love to ask a few questions to Professor Keiji Nagatsuji, please. It's interesting how you elaborate on the Asian monetary the AMF. My question will be simple. How effective is the regional financial cooperations to provide the safety net mechanism to sort of protect the Asia from the crisis? Is it going to be more stricter rules like the EU is now trying to impose in the EU zone, the Eurozone? And I'm going to be following up your closing remarks will be interesting, and then that you say in the coming future, probably, hopefully it's not too long, that either Japan or China will take the lead and let the renminbi become the currency of Asia. My question is, will Japan let China take the lead given the rivalry? And the question goes to Professor Chu. In your paper, you mentioned about the China model for economic development. I'm just going to ask what more internal for Indonesia, and to my mind, Indonesia still in the strategy of development. How unique is the China development model, like you mentioned in your paper, and is there any lesson which Indonesia can take? Because judging from the present times, China's economy is quite impressive. And the third question will go to Pak Tita. You mentioned about the fee value of the aid. How I want you to elaborate it, because like I don't think any aid will be value free. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Thank you.
So Dini, you have two questions. One is for Professor KG and one is for you. And also,
am I allowed to ask the question in Bahasa Indonesia? Yeah, my name is Irawan Purwono. I'm from Capital Business Company in Information Technology. My question to Professor KG. What's your advice for a country like Indonesia, which, like most Asian countries and also African countries, got the independence a little bit after the end of World War II? Because Japan is, I consider Japan as the most advanced country in Asia, and the earliest taking the initiative to modernize itself. That was, I believe, starting since 1860 something, right? By the Meiji reform. We have, to my view as a private hobbies in history and culture, I see that my country has some weaknesses to be transformed to a modern country. I mean, modern industrialized country. Yes, we have lots of natural resources, but in many examples of the world, that having those resources is not enough to transform one country to be modern and industrialized. In like Japan, Korea, or Taiwan, or China, and also I think India, with some exceptions, the state has very strong will and determination to accelerate the transformation, like what happened in Thailand by King Rama V, the fourth and the fifth. Here, after we are democratized, like, you know, we have democratized elections.
please go to the question.
Yeah, just to give a view, broad overview of our problems. We have political parties, but they are not effective. Lots of corruptions. The government is like disabled to my and close to a failed state, in my opinion. We just need your advice as a professor from a modernized and industrialized country.
So, Professor KG.
So Thank you for giving me quite a few numbers of questions, and it is actually beyond my capacity to answer all questions in an appropriate manner within the very limited amount of time. Yet, all those questions are very worth examining and considering. So I'll try to do my best. About financial cooperation among East Asian nations, to what extent Asian nations or member nations should be democratic or not, that's a very important question, very nice question. As I sometimes experience, unfortunately, that probably because after lunch, some of you went into sleep and during my talk, and well, it has something to do with lunch, but it has something to do with the contents of my presentation. To be more exact, financial discussion tend to be mostly among experts. Kind of hard to understand. So it's really understandable that you reacted that way. And so expertise is quite important when it comes to details, things. Yet we need broader consensus among Asian peoples, which direction we should be headed for. It doesn't necessarily mean democratic system we need, but at least we should be ready to listen to people. So if we can attain that much, I think we can go forward. I'm not that much pessimistic about that. And of course, changing political regimes are not an easy thing, and we should be very cautious as well. About second question, will Japan let China lead financial integration among us? Again, a very good question, very stimulating question to ask to Japanese scholar, I think. I don't know. But if Chinese renminbi become common currency, or if China dominate our initiative for financial integration, it literally means that China is becoming hegemon, at least a financial currency hegemon. And I do not disagree 100% to that possibility, but China should be benevolent hegemon if she wants to be. And benevolent hegemon means a lot. We already have, getting back to the first question in a sense, we already experienced and enjoying the fruits of democracy. I am very much impressed by your reaction during this conference that I hear many very critical opinions and very constructive opinions among all of you, among many of you. That's not I have experienced in the past. So I am very amazed that Indonesia is really democratic in that sense, at least among very intelligent students of University of Indonesia. So China should respect democracy of East Asian nations, and in other words, China itself should be democratic to understand. But that's huge, huge challenge, and that much we don't have to rush. We should do what we can do now and in the near future in a cooperative manner. If China is ready to listen to the opinions of other Asian nations, that's fine. Maybe I evaded question, answering your question directly, but that's what I feel. Last question, very difficult. Well, as a whole, I think, if I answer your question in a serious manner, as a whole, we are facing a kind of challenge we've never experienced before. The model, modernization model, which Japan extended, was export-led growth, right? But it is facing, obviously, difficulty. Even China can no longer continue to export that much to the United States and that much to the rest of the world. We have to market itself. So we need to come up with a new model. And Japan cannot be, old Japan cannot be a good model. We have to come up with something new. So that's something we have to discuss among us. And it's really a challenging task. I think I haven't answered your question fully, but that's what I feel for the moment. Thank you very much.